My parents insisted I forgive my cheating fiancé, so I revealed my dad's affair, led to my mom leaving him after 30 years of marriage. My wedding was set for July, but when I got home from a business trip a couple of months ago, I found out my ex-fiancé was cheating with my best friend's sister. I kicked him out, called off the wedding, and told him if he didn't collect his things, I'd toss them out. Weeks later, I pawned the ring, sold or donated everything he'd ever given me, and left the rest of his stuff on a free sign. I blocked him everywhere and called the police when he showed up at my door, banging. When he came to my workplace and caused a scene, I reported him again. I even called the police on his family when they gathered in numbers side. I didn't let my ex or my ex-best friend's sister off easy. I told her husband about her affair with my ex. Last I heard, she'd moved back in with her parents after her husband kicked her out. My ex-best friend also tried convincing me to hear, but I refused, and she called me heartless Eddie for supposedly wrecking her sister's life. I cut her off too. I have no interest in dishonest people. The resentment stayed with me, affecting how I felt towards my parents. I brought a date to dinner with my recently, hoping his presence would prevent them from mentioning my ex. But the moment we saw, they started pushing me to forgive him, saying he was deeply sorry and a chance to explain. They called me cold, accused me of humiliating his family, and said he was going through a tough time. My patience wore thin, and I asked him if he really expected me to tolerate my ex's behavior. I turned to my mom, how she managed to look past dad's affairs, and what kind of life she endures. I asked if they knew what effect this had on me and my siblings, watching dad leave for weekends that meant something entirely different from what he. I reminded them that I was the only child who still spoke to them, that they hadn't been in my brother's wedding, and that they'd never met their grandkids. I left the table, wishing them all the best with the consequences of their actions. Later, I felt a bit of remorse. Not for what I'd said, but for the hurt I caused, especially to my mom. I love my parents despite their flaws, but I know it impacted them deeply. My mother did leave my father shortly after our confrontation, came to stay with me, and it was evident how much she'd been carrying on her own. My siblings and I rallied around her. She moved rarely, and we even got her a dog to keep her company. My older brother eventually moved her across the country to live with his family, where she's doing better there, spending time with her grandchildren and. As for my dad, he invited me to dinner with his new partner, a longtime friend. I confronted them both, asking her about her past involvement with my father. Argument, I blocked him. He reached out, insisting me in his life, and we're slowly trying to mend things, but cautious. For my own part, I'm in therapy, unpacking my past and I reacted as I did. It's been grueling, but now. Many reached out to ask for updates, especially about my date. We've grown closer. He's met my family, attended my mom's birthday, and me to his grandparents. He's an undercover Swiftie, supporter, and while our story was a journey, he's been part of it.